intro video. Wanted to talk to you and maybe do a little introduction to the shareholders, put out a little video to go out on social media. This way we can, introduce you, and they're going to start meeting the team members across not just the public company, but also the subsidiaries. So we'll just kind of jump in. It'll be a quick video, just something for everybody to get to know us a little bit better. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, I know that you've been doing what, health and nutrition for about 2 decades now, right? A little more than that.
I'm actually pre-internet. Yeah, I originally, I got into this company because I was researching for another medical firm over at the MedStacks at UCLA. Okay, and this was pre-internet. This is when we had to, walk up and down the aisles and fish through all the books, the reference books. When I accidentally stumbled across the first translations for St. John's wort and its efficacy in mitigating symptoms of depression. And it was all the rage in Germany. So, and I couldn't believe that it was not here in America. So, I harnessed a doctor and we wrote a book, which was basically an extended magazine article with all of the studies, put it out. It hit the bestsellers list, both in the New York Times and the LA Times. We got on Oprah, 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes was awesome. I mean, Dr. Tim Johnson held the book up and told all the doctors of America to go out and buy this book so they could better counsel their clients, okay? The phone started ringing immediately. It didn't even slow down for 4 years, okay? The sky opened up, money fell out. It was a beautiful thing. And based on that, I developed a massive, database of depressed people. So then based on that, we just started rolling out. That was 94. Then the internet hit. So I was one of the first online, with a website, and did thousands of orders. Anyway, it was a nice life. And I began rolling out other companion products like oxytocin. No one had ever done that before. No one had ever done Sclerotium tortuosum. 5-HTP was new on the market. Anyway, so that's how it all unraveled. And but what fascinated me for all of this was the delivery system. Okay, how do we get it into the body? How do we get it down to the cellular level? And I knew I was doing something right because Eli Lilly attacked me. Okay, they started running articles. They actually funded Dr. John Davidson down there at Duke University, $4 million to prove why St. John's wort didn't work. Okay, and after 4 years, it was proven that St. John's wort did work. And so here we are. So, but based on the delivery systems, that's how it evolved into patches, 3M patches, sublingual, administration of some homeopathics, and transdermals. We actually fed the antidepressants into the body through transdermal creams via liposomes. Yeah, that's so that's been my fascination, is delivery.
Right.
There's almost so much you can do with, people think of us as a vitamin company. Vitamins are 5%, if that, of what we do here.
Right. Well, that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because that kind of leads me into something I did want to discuss with you. Is, so we have the beginning, but with COVID hitting, the pandemic, and personal health being a focus now, how have you not only dealt with, but adapted to the increased demand of supplements? I don't want to go into particular sales numbers right now, just because we're going to be putting out some information, but it's affected, especially your group, significantly. So if you don't mind, maybe going over how you've addressed that demand. And
not at all. It was really very simple. I mean, this is not rocket science. We just jumped on. I spent my life researching the science. Everything we do here is science-based. And it came to my knowledge that the issue was cytokine storms, that the human body, in an attempt to fight off this invasive virus, was creating cytokine storms. And in the supplement industry, there are only 3 supplements that could really address that: vitamin C, right, zinc, and vitamin D3. So of course we were on that immediately. Okay, not only just any vitamin C, but a certain type of vitamin C that's fat soluble. Most vitamin C's are water soluble, so they don't spend a lot of time in the body. But this was a certain type of fat soluble because it was attached to a peptide, a fatty peptide chain. So what that means is that it passes through the cell and lodges in the cell and is there, exponentially longer to fight off the cytokine storms. So there was that. And then we had another antioxidant that was in the midst of being tested for its efficacy in addressing various lung issues. That's what's killing everybody.
Right.
Respiratory issues.
And this actually might be a good question to pose to Blake. We have Blake with us. He's the chief executive overseeing operations over at Boost Words. He handles the marketing not only for UAT Group, but also for all the subsidiaries, the sister companies and so forth. For those who are going to see this video.
Oh yeah, Blake was all over that. Blake, maybe you could talk about that a little bit, but Blake is the marketing man.
Well, yeah, when the pandemic had hit, luckily we had been prepared from a technology standpoint. We had been working with HPC and the Dreaming Company to kind of revamp and overhaul, all of the web properties and expand out, some of the more niche ingredients into popular products. And luckily we were well positioned both from a standpoint of, SEO rankings, Google ads, but also, from a standpoint of inventory. So obviously everybody became very health conscious very, very quickly. And at the same point, you saw a rise in online shopping because nobody could go to the stores, and Amazon was sold out of everything. But of course, lo and behold, the Dreaming Company was still in stock. So it was a matter of not only being in the right place at the right time, but, from a tech standpoint, all of the years prior to that of hard work that we had put in to kind of prep, the sites for high traffic and for everything else, it did pay off.
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment here for those watching the video. We had launched the Hygiea socks several years back, and you ran an entire program, and a lot of people didn't understand it at the time, but we were doing specific targeting marketing for each demographic to see where we were going to get the most return on our ad dollars.
Yeah.
If you don't mind talking about that, because that really has set up a lot for the future. When we look at all of the companies and the marketing plans, it's really what you did with, the understanding the fundamentals with Hygiea, the very first of Hygiea, because at that point, I think the national average was $2.50 return for every dollar spent, and you were bringing us $4 for every dollar spent in marketing. It was remarkable. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole because we're going to be releasing some information that will clarify some of that, but just a real brief blurb.
Yeah, obviously it's not that difficult to run ads on Google from a broad spectrum, but where it starts to become, a little bit more high level is when you start to understand who your customer is and using that knowledge and that data, from your marketing tests or from past sales or from commonalities between customer demographics, and then allocating your ad dollars to the correct spots, because now you're talking about being more efficient, right? Because who specifically is more likely to buy your products. And, that's something we were able to do both with Hygiea and of course with, the HPC and Dreaming Company brands here over the years. And that's definitely a big part of the success. And that's, certainly something we plan to build on. I mean, the more data that comes in, the better the system's going to get, the more targeting capabilities we're going to have, and the better the ROI, is going to be as a result.
Right. I appreciate that. And I think it's important that we touch on that because, they're going to want to know how is everything interconnected. And it's important that shareholders know, and even those interested in the company, that all of the companies do work together cohesively. And then because of how we work together, it makes managing and targeting marketing not just more effective or efficient, but it also makes it a little bit easier to manage because we are talking about a holding company with several subsidiaries that you have to wrap your arms around that. So it can be a little challenging at times. And because of what we've done from the beginning, it's something that is almost seamless every time we bring in a new company into the fold. Chris, I wanted to ask you, going into you know, we operate all these brands, right? And the Dreaming Company, we refer to it as TDC, right? TDC operates many brands, one of which has taken off significantly. I mean, you've from what I get to see the numbers and the paperwork as everything comes across, it consistently selling out over and over and seeing the increased sales, even as you bring more inventory in, buying more raw materials to make more product. The skincare line has really taken off. It's done well. And looking at the customer satisfaction is phenomenal. Obviously, that's one of the things I look at. I'm sure we are all looking at that. And it's phenomenal to see the response and how well the product's been received. I don't want to talk about specific sales numbers. Like I said, we're gonna go into those. I'm sure that the shareholders will be happy to see those. But on this particular call, I just wanted to go in. What are your thoughts about that particular product line taking off, and what is that recipe of success that you have found that's enabled that, or not really enabled, but driven that product line? I know Blake's had a lot to do with that from a marketing standpoint, but you've managed to put together some very high quality products. And it's funny, we don't talk about that a lot, and we're going to start talking about that more. But the quality of the raw materials that produce the end product, very high quality. It's one of the reasons, you know, all of us have talked about packaging and a few other things that we're moving towards. But in your opinion, what do you think that recipe of success comes from? Do you think it's just the quality?
You hit the nail on the head, Alex. It's quality, and efficacy. When the women, mostly women, when they use this product, they know there's a difference. They can feel the difference. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is not about fragrance. This is not about fancy packaging. Look, Kiehl's never needed fancy packaging. Right. Good quality companies do not need fancy packaging. Right. You know what I mean? At some point that may change. I don't know. I'm not really interested in packaging. I'm the man who makes these products. We call him the chef, okay? Because he's got 30 years experience dealing with liposomes. And for those of you who don't know, liposomes are these spheres with this incredible ability to, almost like a hypodermic needle, express their payload into the cell itself. So these are not creams that are sitting on the surface. If the FDA would let us, we could sell it as medicine for the skin, but of course we can't use that word, okay, without going to jail. But it is really medicine for the skin. The ingredients are the highest quality. And that's why, you know, I get flack for, why is this costing so much to make? Well, it costs so much to make because you buy cheap, you get
Absolutely.
cheap. And it's not cheap. This is good stuff. And at this point, it's all being handmade. And I don't, in the foreseeable future, I don't ever expect us not, you know, it's not going to be automated. It's always going to be automated by a man who's got 20 years experience custom formulating medicine for people, for their endocrinology. Okay, so we had all the technology in place. Okay, the only thing that was really holding us back were certain use patents on some of the ingredients. I mean, I knew I was doing something right when a medicine that I had created for kids with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, I got cease and desists from German pharmaceutical companies saying, you can't do this. And I'm like, no, but we're not selling it as cream. This is not a cosmetic. This is medicine. Okay, so one thing led to another. Okay, we won the cases, we went on, and so after as soon as the use patents expired, well, here we are. Okay, now there's nothing holding us back from making, you know, continuing to make this medicine for the skin, and that's the difference, the efficacy. I can't tell you, even though it's a fairly recent line being promoted as a cosmetic line, the reorders are, you know, off the charts. People are coming back again and again and again and again.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
The other thing too is that we have very good customer service.
Yeah.
You know, I have trained all of our customer service reps to understand the pharmacology of this, and I mean pharmacology. You know, yeah. Because
I will say that when the first round came out on some of the skincare products, and I had tried them. Blake, did you tell Chris this story? I'll share it. So, you know, we're here in Florida, and, you know, being a typical guy, I'm out there doing what I'm doing. I get sunburn. And we had talked about the product that repairs the skin and everything. I put it on. I cannot believe I got sunburned all these years here, and I made this mistake, right? So I put it on. The next day, nothing. Now, and I called Blake and I said, "Are you getting a lot of feedback from customers on how well this works? Because we don't sell sunburn treatment, and I think now you're moving towards that." But I said, "You get a lot of feedback." He said, "We get nonstop feedback through social media, through any of the marketing channels that have the ability to take back the reviews and some of the comments." I cannot believe this. Why are we not pushing this? Well, that's what we're doing. So, I understand. My head's not just in one company. I'm looking at a couple of things. I said, I told my wife right away, I said, I put this cream on and I no longer have sunburn 24 hours, not even 24 hours later. It's amazing. So there's a few shareholders. I don't know if Blake told you, I'm very friendly with the.
Can I explain to you why? Can I explain to you why it worked?
Oh, absolutely. Go right. Explain to me.
So you've got this analog of CoQ10 that has been proven, and it's all verifiable on PubMed.gov. It's been proven that when it's delivered via the liposome, once again, because it's a fat-soluble analog, okay, it requires fat. A liposome is a fat lipid bubble. Okay, so when it's delivered, expressed into the cell itself, along with a very high-class hyaluronic acid, it's sodium hyaluronate, which is the highest molecular weight, but the tiniest molecule. In the liposome, between the two of them, it's going to knock out, it's going to fully repair the RNA, DNA, chromosomal damage to the cell itself, as well as moisturize, as long as you exogenously moisturize with water as well, because this cream can hold 1,000 times its weight in water. And that's the point. Wow. You're embedding this cream into the skin. The skin then, but if you don't give it exogenous water, then the cream will go looking for moisture within the skin, which could dry it out. So what you do is you just spray your face with some distilled water, or even some women use rose water. Rose water with glycerin is really nice. Okay. Distilled water, even tap water is fine. Distilled water is a little better because of the possible bacterial count coming out of tap water. But that's what it was doing for you. That's why it worked. Once again, efficacy. We won't put out anything that doesn't work. We're not interested in just selling creams. Sell creams. They've got to work. And that's the intrinsic value of what we do. That's why we sleep at night. Yeah,
it really is. It was incredible. From all these years of, vitamin C creams and aloe, that's big down here in Florida.
And all of that's fine.
But it does not do what the liposome cream does. It really is amazing. It's not that I wasn't aware of, what we do with all of the companies and the standard we hold everyone to, and even hold ourselves to, but to experience it in real time in a situation where, I was sunburned. The kind when you get in the shower, it hurts. And it was really impressive. I could not believe it. And I asked Blake, we were talking about it for weeks afterwards. I was so impressed with the cream. My wife obviously loves the cream. Some shareholders I was telling you that I talked to that we've sent samples to, you
didn't feel either, did you?
No.
That's the amazing part. And I've witnessed this myself.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
From a marketing standpoint, that's kind of what we're striving for, right? Is we're trying to improve somebody's quality of life with one of our products, right? Because today it's Hygieia Skin, but now once I've helped you through that problem of your sunburn or fixing crepey skin or wrinkles or whatever the case may be, we've earned your trust as a brand, right? And then maybe tomorrow you see Hygieia socks or these other products that we have planned, and that's how it all starts working together. Through this data system that we're talking about. So, we're definitely off to a great start with that.
Right. So, Chris, let me ask you, I won't keep it too much longer. I know you got a couple things scheduled, but for the remainder of 2021, considering everything that's we don't want to let the cat out of the bag on a few things, but.
No, we can't.
Right. But what are you most excited about for 2020 in a general sense? We don't want to. We have a lot planned, and not just as a public company, but multiple subsidiaries. So
we have slated 10 different formulations, ranging from peptides to even a Me Too. I mean, we're going to be putting out a high quality vitamin C serum because, the only way to get collagen to grow back in the skin is to make it grow back. You can't just put collagen on the skin. And any kind of formulation you see with just collagen in it, forget about it. It's too big a molecule. It's not going to be, even through the liposome. Okay, you have to remodel the skin from within. Okay, so we've got various vitamin C peptide formulations, but my own personal favorite that I'm excited about is the glass skin, because now we're creating beautiful skin from within. I mean, we're talking beyond the third level of skin. We're talking through fascia into the muscle itself. We are enforcing and lighting up the mitochondria in the whole body. You're literally feeding your body, almost as if your skin or your liver. You're metabolizing all of these incredible nutrients into your whole body. Okay, but then you put a whole glass skin veneer on the top of that, which removes any kind of ugly patina. I'm excited about that because that's the coup de grace. That's the icing on the cake. That's my personal favorite.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of interest in what's to come. I mean,
this glass skin. Just remember those two words.
Glass skin.
Glass skin.
They're not going to forget now. They're going to be talking about it. All right, I won't keep you. I know you and Blake both have calls scheduled, and I've got a 3:30. I'm about to be late for, so I just wanted to make sure we did this introduce you to the shareholders. They're going to always have questions. I want to increase the transparency and make sure that the shareholders always have access to us and are updated on what we're working on without letting too much out of it.
And they have access to us through the 800 number.
Right.
If they have
websites,
or if the shareholders want a sample.
Right. We're going to be okay. We're going to be bringing on I'm going through this now, looking at different IR firms that will be able to handle not where we are where we are now, but also as we transition to uplisting to a higher exchange. So there's a whole process. I don't want to get into that in this video, but we're going to be going into that here over the next couple of weeks. But anyway, all right, gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Sorry if I kept you a little too late, but
my pleasure.
We'll touch base again. All right.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you.